What's good? It's your boy Sima, your boy Ronto, and your boy Delux. And we got a special guest in the building. Tell the people your name.
So, bro, my name is Singh here, a.k.a. Punjabitimbit. You already know what it is. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. This is Maybe It Gets Better podcast. Clap it up for us. All right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, bro. So, like I said, Singh, I'm a stand-up comedian and a youth worker. I've been doing both of them kind of simultaneously for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's all been independent up until this point. So, yeah, bro, I'm down to just chop it up. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. So, we appreciate you coming through and stuff.
Yeah.
And, so, like, tell us a little bit about your upbringing and, like, some of the things that you were faced when you started your journey.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I grew up in Gin and Finch. I kind of talk a lot about that on some of the stages as well, like in terms of the material, and that's where a lot of the influence for comedy came from, and youth work as well. Like, I know some of you guys kind of are you two grew up in the same area? Yeah. So like, I know. So you guys are probably familiar with that as well. Like, growing up, I felt like, especially there in the community as a young male, you had to have some kind of identity to fit in. But a lot of it, the common themes were either you're a gallus or you're street involved or you're like an athlete.
Yeah.
I was fucking none of the above, bro. Pick last for gym, all of that shit. You know what I mean? Man's had I had no beard, you know? So it was fucked up. So that's where that's where the Pittman name came from. A man said my head looked like an old-fashioned plane.
That's so crazy. I was gonna ask you about that, like Punjabitimbit. Like, where did that even come from? I know there's a story behind it. The man said an old flashing pain.
It came from bullying, brother.
Not even as a joke.
Yeah, bro.
You really gotta turn a negative to a positive. So
that's what you had to do in West. So me, David, and Jesse all went to like the same high school.
Yeah.
But Jesse was 2 years older. So like I always say, and people always think I'm like taking a piss at it. Like, Jane and Finch wasn't an easy place to grow up. And then going to the high school where like both like different factions of neighborhoods went there.
Yeah.
It was just a boiling pot. So like bullying was just like a normal.
Yeah.
Bro, it's only bullying if you took it like that.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You had to have thick skin, or otherwise you would get picked on.
You have to be ready for the comebacks.
And every time, I don't know if you guys remember this, but anytime there was a scrap, like it would start off small, but then one person would always be like, "Yo, watch me make one phone call." And as soon as they said that, like a Honda Civic hatchback rolled up 8 Somalis. You know what I mean? Imagine crawling out the trunk and shit. Like, it was crazy.
Yo, it got serious like that. I think when we first like came in like grade 9, I swear we got welcomed in through a fight. Like there was a fight that happened in the main foyer when the grade 9s were coming in. And it was just like, I think it was like an all-girl bang out.
It was crazy,
like, everyone
bro.
got active. The guys, the girls, everybody. Like, that school is like, if there wasn't a fight one day, that means it was like a PA day.
Yeah, down.
Yeah, bro. And I think it was, especially because of the way it was situated, like we said, it was like in between up top, south side. So both like neighborhoods were there. But yeah, like to my point, I think the way comedy kind of came into my life was a defense mechanism in the beginning. Like, I was a very introverted kid, very shy and shit. And like I said, I didn't fit any of those boxes. So like, I remember we used to have like school plays in the cafeteria and shit. And we used to like make sketches. Like, we used to make little skets and stuff in like drama class, and we would go out on stage. And I remember people would laugh. Like, they loved it, bro. And like, that's when I realized, I'm like, oh shit, like people like funny.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Who was the drama teacher on that time?
Salisbury, same guy. Yeah.
That guy was an oddball. So I ain't gonna lie. That guy was
contra on that.
That was an odd you.
Yeah, he was still. But I can't even not brag on the man. The man was good to us still.
Yeah. He was weird, but he was weird. But he was good still.
But he was good people, bro.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, that's where it started. And I remember like being in class and like being a class clown and shit. But outside of that, I was still very introverted. Like, I used to get detention. I used to get in trouble all the time. But sometimes they would allow it because I made teachers laugh.
Yeah.
And like,
you know what's so funny? You got to be likable.
Yeah.
Being likable goes so far.
Yeah. And I didn't think about this until after, but I had this like thought where it was like, you never realize there's things that happen in your life that lead you to the path you were always destined to go. But like it might be even small. Like I remember like I didn't do my first stand-up set until I was like 17 or 18. So like I was still in grade 12 and it was at Absolute Comedy Young in Eglinton. I did the amateur night and I did like 7 minutes or something they give you. But I remember leading up to that, like, you know, like I said, like it was always like causing trouble in class. And we had geography class right after lunch. It was that period. And it was this lady named Miss Fuentes, Hispanic. She was bad as fuck too. Shout out to Miss Fuentes. But she was a geography teacher in like grade 9. And we were always late, bro. Because like we would go for lunch at like York Mall, James Fitzgerald, like a 20, 30-minute walk. And then you would come back, you were late. And then like at first she would like get cheese. Like, yo, why are you guys showing up like 15 minutes in the class? And then one day she was just like, okay, what is it this time? And I remember just making up these crazy stories, like just stupid shit. Like I was like, yo, miss, we were in line and someone decked someone with a grapefruit and there was a scrap and we were just like random shit. And I remember her laughing. So like every time it became a thing, like she would just let me stand up in class and tell these stupid stories.
Entertain us.
Yeah, like almost entertain us. And then I thought about it afterwards and I'm like, yo, she was literally giving me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, she was almost like letting me do this. Which was, and I love teachers like that, where they're like, they find the strength in you and they, instead of like ragging on you for it, they try to capitalize.
Yeah, exactly. Calm the class down, bring everyone together.
Yeah, bro. But I was
just gonna say teachers like that are so important. We talked with another guest. It was what's his name again? He's a teacher. Smiling good.
Oh, Ibs.
Yeah. He was just explaining like how like, you know, like little things that he would do during teaching like would go far and he wouldn't even notice that like it's impacting students. So yeah, teachers like that are definitely needed and stuff.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I remember like grade 4 or 5 teachers that I had that were like impactful, you know. Like in grade 5, I remember there was this Trini guy we had. Man's name was Mr. Sal. He was rude as fuck. Like he used to get in your face, yell at you and shit. But one thing he would always like give you shit for was he would make you write like for English class and stuff. But he said if you're writing a story or writing any kind of literature, you have to use cursive. And like he would dock marks if you didn't use cursive.
Oh, really?
He said the only time you print is when you're doing math equations. Like if you're explaining a math equation. And even till this day, bro, I still write in handwriting. And I'm like, I look at kids nowadays and no one knows how to do that. They don't teach it no more.
Yeah, no, it's not a thing.
Forgotten skill,
Damn. Yeah, good times. Now I had a teacher like that too. A Jamaican lady, yo, she did not play.
Trust me, bro. They bring back home here, and it's like,
but those teachers are needed though.
Yeah,
like nowadays, like the art of teaching is kind of lost.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I feel like, and I think there's like pros and cons to this, but I feel like we're in a weird era where students have more power than the teachers do, and they're scared, bro.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
And they don't get paid enough to deal with us.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like. And it's like, I know this is more political, but like the whole furry situation, I don't understand it, right? Never heard of this?
Like when people dress up in like furry costumes?
No, but they identify as like a cat.
Oh,
yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go in depth about that.
I stay away from that type of stuff.
Yeah, no.
But my thing is that like, yo, like teachers are also now forced to feed into this narrative.
This foolishness,
You know? Yeah. But I feel like I went off on a tangent, but I was saying where comedy led to was that like, so I think like living there, that was what shaped my identity. It was like I needed something to navigate life and navigate living in that community. And like, I love the community.
Yeah.
Right. But I think obviously the neighborhood had its own politics and shit. So you needed something to survive. And that became a survival mechanism. And it worked. I remember one time when we were leaving West, we used to walk through the back to walk through Connections.
Oh yeah, I know those.
And there would always be mans posted up there, like older heads and stuff. Yeah. And they were waiting to rob the younger kids. And I remember walking home, and this dude came up to me, you know, and he was like, "Yo, what is it?" But the guy behind him was like, "Yo, allow that kid. He's funny." Yeah, because he saw one of the things at the cafeteria. I got robbed a week later, but
like you didn't rob that. Yeah. It was like
Yeah, it was like that day I was blessed. But I'm like, that always stuck with me, bro. I was like, there's something to this. Like you said, the likability piece.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So keep it rolling with comedy. When it comes to comedy, do you believe people have become too sensitive?
I think the pendulum is shifting now, but I did think there was a point where that definitely was true. Like I think there was a point or a period where people were canceling, comedians for things that they may have said years ago, or about philosophies that they didn't even believe anymore. Right? It's like, and that I think that's what's scary about like social media in general, is that digital footprint doesn't ever get erased. So it's like whatever thoughts you had 10, 15 years ago, even though you evolved and you might have changed in your thinking, you're still getting penalized for it.
You see that sketch with Mike Epps when he was talking about Nicki Minaj and he apologized after? Like, would that be?
No, I don't think I've seen that. No, what was the sketch?
I don't remember. Well, it wasn't a sketch. He was just doing like a comedy night, and then
it was when Nicki Minaj supported Donald Trump that day or something like that.
Okay.
And I think he just I don't know if it was like a comedy skit. I think he just went at her.
Yeah, it was like a comedy night where he was talking about her and he was just going crazy on her. Then he apologized after. But my overall question is, like, would you ever do a show and then say something and apologize?
I don't,
even though it was a joke.
Yeah, like thankfully, there hasn't been moments where that's ever happened in terms of like, there's been moments where like people have gotten offended, but they've never confronted me. Yeah, they've confronted the booker, which I thought was like worse, because it's like, bro, why don't you just talk to me about it?
What did they say to the booker then? Why'd you get this?
There's a joke where I talk. There's a joke where I talk about working in a daycare center for kids who have special needs, but I'm not ragging on them. Like if you listen to the joke, I'm talking about like the joke leads into like, oh, some of these kids are dicks. But I say it. I'm like, yo, there's just regular kids. And kids can be assholes.
No, they're rude.
Regardless of what kind of kid they are. You know what I mean? And then in the end of the joke, I say the R word, but I'm not saying it in terms of my perspective. I'm saying it from the kid's perspective. And I guess she just heard the word. Without hearing the whole setup of the joke, without hearing what led to that. And all of a sudden, it was like a reaction. You know what I mean? And I think like, I think the person that I always think of when I hear this question is Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah,
he had he broke it down perfectly, bro. Rest in peace. Yeah, the GOAT. And an interviewer asked him about that, and then he basically said, he's like, I think every comedian or every artist should be allowed to make the attempt, and I don't think they should be penalized or suspended or whatever or canceled for making an attempt. Because he said, a dark joke or a lighter joke both came from the same place. They came from the same thought of like, how do I make this funny? And sometimes it doesn't work, but that's not to say that there's no consequences. Like if you go to an open mic, you might see like legit racist, homophobic, sexist people that are just saying crazy shit for shock value. But it's also like, yo, you have to look at the environment that you're in. This is an open mic. Like, you're going to see people say crazy shit, try to figure stuff out. And that's not to say that you're free of consequences. You might get decked in the face, but it's like, you be allowed to say it? I feel like you should be.
Okay. So on the topic of comedy and like just, saying certain things, when do you come to the conclusion that a joke's ready to be talked about on stage?
That's a good question. I think everyone has, or every comedian has like their own way of doing shit. Like a lot of people will sit down and write their material, and that just didn't work for me. Like I've never written shit down, which like probably has also been a detriment because I've forgotten material that I like.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. Like, what do you do when you forget a joke?
Sometimes people will tell you, like other comedians that have seen you a lot would be like, yo, how come you don't do this joke anymore? And you're like, fuck, I forgot I didn't do that. But I guess for my process is like, I'll go to amateur nights or I'll go to open mics or smaller shows and I'll workshop the idea that I think is funny. And then once I see it starts working in smaller shows, I'll try it at a bigger stage. And then if it works, I'll keep it. But there's like still ideas that I think is hilarious that I still haven't found like how to find it, and I think that's what that's what I love about comedy, but that's also what I fucking hate. Is like when you're like, yo, I know there's something here, I just don't know how to get it to work.
Yeah. So would you say, like, how's your style? Like, would you say it's more of like an interacting with the crowd, or like you need to go like, are you a storyteller? Because you know, like a lot of great comedians, they tell stories. Like I think Cat Williams is a good storyteller, or Bernie Mac.
Yeah, bro. I think for me, it's like the latter. A lot of it is just a reflection of life. Like I like telling personal stories because one, no one else can replicate that. Yeah, that's your life. That's like what you've experienced or what you've seen. Like the whole daycare thing, working in that, or working at a youth shelter and seeing the crazy shit that some of these guys do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And being able to speak about that on stage, like that, I think is where a lot of the stuff flourishes. And then sometimes I'll have like thoughts that I think are funny, which I'll talk about. And in terms of the crowd work piece, I've gotten a lot more comfortable doing that because one of my boys, who's also a great comic, Habib Siam, he talked to me about being comfortable with silence.
I think a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
Like they go crazy and stuff.
Yeah, bro.
There's certain people you'll have conversations with and like it's just silent and they just look at you like, yo, say something.
Yeah. But like especially on stage. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got 100 people looking at you and it's like you get in your head like, I need to fill this space.
And then you mess up.
Yeah, and you mess up or you stumble over words. But sometimes it's like just filling that gap with like giving yourself a moment, you could think of something that's great. Like Chappelle said this about Trevor Noah, where he asked Trevor Noah to open for him one time, and Trevor Noah was like, he was kind of shitting on himself. He's like, yo, I'm not even that funny. Like, there's so many other people you could have asked to open for you. He's like, why'd you ask me? And Chappelle was like, yo, you're funny, but he's like, I didn't pick you just because you're funny. I think you're interesting. Yeah. And sometimes people just want to be tuned in to like listen to what you're saying.
Yeah. I feel like he does that. He leans to that a lot more now, where he kind of just tells not really stories, but he just like talks. And he's interesting with the subject matter that he talks about. So it's I don't know, the way that his comedy evolved over the time is different.
I think it showed more of his like personality because even at the Grammys, like even a comedian is like you could be funny joke wise, but even your personality and your mannerisms and how you respond to things is funny too. And that's like a feel good moment. Like a comic is well rounded. Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be.
So I will. You wanna go?
I was just gonna say because we talked about a few different comics at this point. Patrice O'Neal, Bernie Mac. Like who's your guys' favorite comedians? Like top 3.
I gotta say Bernie, Cat, Dave Chappelle.
I would say Patrice for me is definitely up there, bro. I think he was like not just ahead of his time, but I think if he was alive today, he'd be untouchable.
He did see a lot of things that I felt like are still relevant to now.
Facts. Crazy, bro. Yeah. And like,
there's a truth in the fuckery, to be honest.
Yeah, bro. And even just like his angles about stuff, like when he's like, yo, I don't litter not because I care about the environment, but he's like, I don't litter because I'm scared they're gonna find a coke can with my fingerprints next to a dead white bitch. And he's like, they're gonna trace it back to me.
You look at it, like, you probably did that.
Yo, that joke makes you sick.
No, like, how does your mind even go?
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
There's a method to the madness, and I feel like in comedy you have to have that type of edge.
Bro.
I'd say like, I don't know, Cat Williams for sure is like one up there. Like specials and like even just overall appearances.
Yeah,
like Cat Williams has definitely been the most referenced.
100%.
Yeah,
I'd say Patrice second. Oh man, like I like Dave Chappelle's storytelling, but I also like Don Rickles was actually a funny guy.
Rickles was hilarious, bro.
Was a funny guy to me. So I don't know. There's a lot of like comedic styles, but like I think even Bernie Mac's a legend.
I love Bernie, bro.
Martin Lawrence did his thing too.
He's coming to Toronto, bro.
I seen that. I don't know. There's so much.
Yeah. Man, I would say Patrice is definitely like for me up there. Chappelle, I would say pre-Netflix Chappelle, I love.
Yeah.
Like for what it's worth, Killing Him Softly. Chappelle Show was legendary. 3 is hard, bro, because I feel like I have 2 names in mind. But I was gonna say like for third, I guess tied would be either Bill Burr or
Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill.
Yo,
yeah,
that guy is crazy.
Bill Burr's crazy, bro. And what I love about him though is that like as a white guy, it's very hard to tiptoe that line when you're talking about race.
Perfectly.
Yeah, like he doesn't like he says edgy shit, but you're like you could see like he's not racist.
Like,
Yeah,
It's like he's on the line, he's about to tilt over, but then he brings it right back.
And I think that's Wait, did you just say that?
yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's an art, you know, like just being able to not get canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. Burr, I would say is up there, and I was gonna say just honorable mention. I was gonna put Richard Pryor, but like,
not a lot of people put him on their list.
Yeah, I would say like not because I thought he was the funniest, and he is funny, but I think for his time he probably was the GOAT. But I think it's what he brought to stand up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like
he was
game.
a pioneer.
He was one of the forefathers.
Yeah. I feel like with Pryor now, his jokes won't connect because it's so old,
so dated. Yeah.
But the essence of everything, like everyone's following.
Yeah.
It evolved over time.
Facts. Oh, man, who would I say? I would say, man, Cat for sure.
Yeah.
Man, definitely Bernie.
You know what people
It's the
sleep
same.
on? Russell Peters.
Russell Peters, yeah, he was
Russell Peters pioneered it, bro.
Oh man,
his things, bro.
you guys know Ali Sadiq?
Yeah.
Yo, that guy
Ali Sadiq is crazy too,
he
bro.
has some good stories.
Yeah.
Man. Even though the new guys, I got to give an honorable mention. You ever see this guy Mojo Brooks?
No.
Light skinned guy from Chicago.
I don't think I heard of him.
Man,
Mojo Brooks.
Just look that guy up. He's
Okay.
hilarious. Trust me.
Yeah, but Ali Sadiq is crazy too. Like when you were talking about storytelling, that he's a perfect example to me because he's like, his stories aren't like punchline. It's like it might be like 10 minutes of him just talking, and then the laughter comes. But it's like you're so captivated about like what's gonna happen, you know. And Russell Peters, like to me, like again, like I can't even be a brown comic and say he's not up there because it's like it wouldn't have been possible for me to even do this if he didn't pave the way.
He definitely opened a lot of doors. I used to love his stuff back in the days because it was so like because most of the time, like you know, you grow up, you see the white comics. The him just being one of the brown comics around that time to have a voice was just so interesting.
And talk about shit that's relatable.
Yeah, I was just about to say the cultural connection that he's making is like on point. So every time you hear it, it's like, yeah, it's perfect.
And you know what I like about it? He kind of, I would have to say, kind of leans into some of the stereotypes, but he's laughing about it. Like he knows that it's there.
Yeah,
like we all know. So yeah, no.
Bro, there was actually a famous Don Rickles story of like. I don't know if you heard of it. It's like he was at dinner with like this girl that he was with, and Elvis walks in, and this is like when Elvis was like, bro, like prime Elvis, like he was fucking like Michael Jackson level famous. This guy, so he walks in, and then his girl is like looking at him like, yo, is that Elvis? And like everyone in the restaurant's like turning around, they're like shocked, like, yo, what the fuck's Elvis doing here? And then Don Rickles gets up and walks over to Elvis. And he's like, yo, I'm here on a date with this girl. She's a really big fan. I think she would love if you come over to our table and like just talk to her, like sign an autograph or something. He's like, yeah, no problem. Don Rickles goes back to a seat. Elvis walks over and he sees the girl and he's like, hey, miss, how are you? Don Rickles looks at him and he's like, hey, Elvis, can't you see I'm having dinner here? Leave us alone.
Flip the script.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man.
That's what happened to Buzz on. That's funny.
That's actually a bigger power move than him signing the autograph, bro.
And the girl's like, oh my god, they said that now. Yo, like that guy's always on. Always trying to get
that guy's so annoying, bro. You know?
So, a question for you. So, if comedy was taken away from you tomorrow, who would you say Jesse is?
Fuck, bro. You know what's crazy? I actually asked myself this the other day because, like, I feel like I'm in, like, a creative block right now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's just so much else stuff going on in my life where I'm like, I want to focus on this thing. But if it was taken away, I don't know, bro. That's a good question. I would say, like, probably a youth worker. Obviously, I want to be a good husband, be a good son, you know. Yeah. But I would say the youth work thing is definitely a passion of mine, and that's something that I've been putting time and effort toward as well, and trying to see how to combine both of these entities together. And like I would say that's probably my passion project, is like I would be someone who would want to be engaged with community work and uplift younger voices.
Would you say, sorry for cutting you off, would you say like the comedic aspect of you helps you reach out to the kids better?
Absolutely, bro. 100%. I mean, I think Lux, you can attest to this too, bro. Like when you're working with young people who have been like thrown into traumatic situations or have come from, you know, circumstances that aren't the greatest, one of the hardest things for them to do is garner trust. Whether that be with, you know, an authority figure, whether that be with someone like myself who's a youth worker, even though I'm not there to like create consequences, because that's probably what they're used to, right? Like older generations or adults in their lives have always like either pushed a consequence or been a source of their trauma. So I think what the humor does is it just breaks down that wall of like being an authority figure. It's like, yo, I'm here to support you. And I think that's what helps the trust piece, right? Because it's like, this guy gets it. Like, he's not here to tell me how to live my life.
You find that it's hard to also, like, you know, appeal to them in that aspect, but also be stern and actually have them do what you asked them to do? Or?
Yeah, I think that was my biggest hurdle in the beginning, was that I feel like sometimes I overdid it, and they would see me as like, yo, this guy's just my bridging. Like, but then when it came time to being like, nah, like, no, I can't give you 2 fucking bus tickets to take this shorty out to Yorkdale. You know what I mean? It's for job interviews. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's where I had to find the balance of like, yeah, the humor is a way to bridge that gap, but I'm also I have to be conscious of it, right? And it's not to say that like it's not to say that like, yo, we're not cool or anything, I'm not cool with them. But I think when you overstep that boundary, the danger is that I know I'm not going to be in your life forever. You know what I mean? I know that there's going to be a point where this cuts off. We're like, either if I go home, like we're not going to be hanging outside of work. Right. And it's like creating that boundary, I think, is what's necessary. And that was what I had to find a better balance at.
And I feel like with so I want to also give you flowers, because I like, for me being in youth work, I've always heard other names. So like your name is someone, like when I started going into like the different environments and stuff like that, like your name was coming up a lot. So I want to give you your flowers, because a lot of the impact that you're doing, not only for the youth, but like it's a testament to the great work that you do, right? Like if a lot of youth are like saying that your name, you're in a positive light, they're like, yo, I could go to him, I've worked with him before, like that's something that is I think taken very lightly. But I say, like, especially in youth work, because you pour so much into the work, especially in the youth, like especially with coming from Jane and Finch and knowing what wasn't given and being able to support that, that's a big deal. And that's why I'm very adamant about youth work, because you could do work in like a policy kind of thing in youth work as well. Like you could be like, oh, I'm very firm on the rules, this and that. But I don't think that that's good youth work.
No.
I think that that's a easy way. That's a cop out in my eyes. I think that you're hiding behind the policy to be like, oh, I can't do this. But certain policies and rules, you could obviously work around it, right? Not to say that you completely break it, but especially in youth work, it's not perfect. So the rules cannot be perfect. They're absolute in a sense. So if you do good work, then you know that. So I want to let you know that. And then two,
thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
No worries. And I think that even with the comedy, like you said, like if you come from let's just call it what it is, a traumatic background and an environment like where we grew up in Jane and Finch, you could either become the trauma or choose to rise above it. And 100%. Certain situations, I'm not gonna lie, it's not as easy as that. It's not as gray. But you know, turning your pain to passion is another thing. Like with the comedy, with the work that you're doing, but also in your life too, because you could be a Debbie Downer. You could be like, all these things down me, but you turn it into something special.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. And likewise, bro. Like I definitely learned a lot from you and Moose as well. Shout out to Abdul, who like also kind of guided me with like what it entails, right, and what it looks like. And I think like one of the things for me was that in the beginning, I was conscious about the fact that I'm working with a human being. This is another life. Absolutely. Like, I think there's a lot of people that get into this field, and to your point, they see it as a statistic or another client, and then that's how people get burnt out, and it just becomes about, let me clock in, clock out.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so easy for you to forget that what I'm doing or what I say is going to have lingering effects for this person.
Yeah, you're impacting the youth for
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions before we switch?
I had a question about, like, what was your most interesting moment with a heckler?
Oh, that's a good question. Bro, this was earlier on, and I think I didn't know how to deal with it then, but I remember doing a show at a brewery in Markham, actually, and there was this old lady, bro. She was like 60, old white lady. She was fucking hammered. Like, she was drunk out of her mind. She was like swaying back and forth and shit. And I remember I got on stage, but the stage wasn't like a platform. You're on the same level as everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember going up, and then I had a joke where I asked the crowd, I'm like, does anyone have any irrational fears? This lady got up out of her seat, walked toward me, and she grabbed the mic, and she's like, I have Islamophobia. And she walked away, and she got in her car, and you just seen her swerving out of the driveway. But I didn't know what to do, bro, because it was like I was early on, so I panicked. I was like, yo, I'm not Muslim, but I'm scared of them too. And then I just I just fucking pivoted.
She's like, yo.
Nah, that was a clean move.
He just got out of there.
I was just shocked, bro. I was just like, how do I get out of this?
How did the crowd react?
No, they were silent because they were shocked. They're like, what the fuck just happened?
Like, was this a part of the show or something?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Holy shit.
Nah,
But that was probably the most memorable one for sure.
you
But
definitely gotta play off of those moments, bro.
yeah,
Have you ever bombed a show?
100%.
Yeah.
If
Yo,
I
following
get-
up a bomb.
yeah, bro. If any,
Actually, hold on. I just got the connection.
oh yeah, yeah, that is crazy. Yeah,
Got you.
during Ramadan, bro, it's crazy.
Real talk.
My bad.
But I was gonna say, bro, if a comedian tells you they've never bombed, I promise you that they're ass.
Yeah.
Like, that's the telltale sign. Like, anytime I'm doing a show and a comedian's just starting out and they come up to me and they're like, yo, I just started comedy, but I haven't bombed once. I'm killing it everywhere. I'm like, this guy's about to eat a dick tonight. Pause. But like, yeah, definitely have. But I think that's when you know you're moving in the right direction, is when you obviously start to bomb less frequently than you do well. But I think that's where the getting used to the silence piece comes in. But like, it never feels good. Like, you don't ever get to a point, at least I think, in your career where like you bomb and you're okay with it. It still feels like shit. But I think you just get to a point where you realize, where you're able to look at like, okay, how do I tweak this? What happened? What can I change? Versus in the beginning, you're like, I'm fucking quitting. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm not. Fuck this shit, bro. I don't want to do this anymore. But that was like a definitely a learning experience. It's like how to engage with that. Because sometimes your ego gets in the way. Like, it still does. Like, you know, sometimes you still have those thoughts of like, you'll see certain comedians getting on festivals or getting certain accolades, and you're like, bro, I know I'm better than this person, or I've done shows and I know I can, you know, I'm ready and whatever, but the opportunity doesn't rise. But I think it's also like remembering that it's still an industry. Right? Like, as much as comedy is something that you do as an art form, there's still a business to it. So like, sometimes they're not looking for the funniest person. They're looking at the person that fits this mold.
Or like, it's marketable.
Or marketable is a huge one. Like, you know, or like who has the most followers. And, you know, social media, I think, is something that I'm still trying to find that balance with. Because as much as like, I know it's a tool, a part of me is like, yo, I just want to perform. Like, I just want to do live stand-up, you know? But it's also like, now you got to do sketches. You got to have an online presence. And it's like...
It's a full-on business for
yeah, definitely.
And I think when you take it, like you said, as a business, like even like community work, for example, the biggest gem that I learned, or like I've heard other people say most often, is that like, businesses need to think like community, and community work needs to think like businesses. And then once you understand that,
that's dope.
Yeah, when you think like that, and that's how I think really influenced the way that I move and market. It's just like you have to do these things. You have to do some type of grandiose kind of thing, so people are just tuning in. It's a shock value a little bit.
Yeah,
be like, oh wow, like I didn't know like this person is doing it, and you could kind of see how people talk to you differently.
Yeah,
and you can measure it for sure.
No, for sure, and like. That just made me think about like when you said that. I get it too, because as a producer, you want reliability, right? Like someone's that's booking you for a show, you want to know that at least this person can sell tickets, or they can fill seats, or it's like I know they're not going to come up here and say something crazy because I can see what they have online, you know. So I think I'm just trying to find a balance between that of like getting in my own head and be like, nah, fuck that, I don't want to post shit on Instagram and da da da. But it's like you have to find a balance for both.
Yeah,
you know.
So yeah, before I switch topics and get into one of our segments. You mentioned marriage, and it was something that we talked about off camera. So, like, being like a newlywed, like, how was that experience? You know, and also how does it relate to like your current occupations with community work and community?
Also, like the work-life balance.
Essentially, how's the work-life balance for you? Being married.
That's a good question, bro. I think it's definitely something that is forever learning and changing.
Yeah.
But I think I'm very grateful and appreciative to know that like my wife is someone that understands that it's not just a career focus. Like if this is something that works out, it benefits both of us. You know, like once stand-up takes off, or if the youth work picks up, like it's going to be beneficial for us as a household, or if we want to start a family down the line. And beyond that, I think it was one of those things where, like, I would never say that marriage was something off the table, but I was also the type of person that I knew that I wasn't just seeking empty relationships. Yeah. Like, I think, you know, that my attraction also came when I found there was substance with a girl that I'm speaking with. But also, like, I was never that guy. Like I said, I was very shy. I was not confident. And I think...
You want a girl is...
Nah, bro. Not at all, bro. I still fucking watch Dragon Ball Z reruns and shit.
Really, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You could be a jealous and Dragon Ball, you know what I mean?
You could be a jealous and be a nerd, too.
You can laugh her pants off.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's where stand-up helped, like, build that confidence back up. Because I met her at a comedy show.
Oh.
She was in the crowd, and I was doing...
Meant to be.
I was doing crowd work, and then I remember she came back to the show a couple times. I used to produce the show at a weed lounge, but it shut down. It was in Brampton, but but she came back a couple of times, and I remember asking her out, and then it just went on from there. But I think what helped was that we met during COVID.
Okay.
So like shit was already shut down.
Yeah. Also, you had one of those COVID relationships.
Yeah. And her parents were a bit older, you know, so like they were kind of worried about going out back and forth and shit. So it started off a bit long distance. And then I think because of that, we're used to having time apart. And because of that, like when I'm touring or I'm like always out in the evening for shows, and like our schedules don't line up at all. She's a PSW, so she wakes up early, she's out during the day, and then in the evenings I'm not home, you know. But I think we made it work in the aspect of like we knew that we were chasing the same goal, which was to just be comfortable down the line.
Wow,
so
that's beautiful.
So tours coming.
Yeah. I'm gonna be touring with my boy Abdullah Usman. Check out the dates. It's called "We're the Problem." And we're gonna be. Thank you. And then we're gonna be doing a bunch of cities coast to coast. So we're coming to BC, Alberta, Thunder Bay, ironically, and then we're gonna have Windsor. So like, just keep the eye on the dates. We'll be posting and
all the cold places. That's all I heard.
I mean, there's not really much warmth in Canada.
But like colder.
Damn. But you know what's so funny? And people don't notice, like, there's still life outside of Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not touring. Like, where am I going? Scarborough. Like, nah, there's more to Canada.
Yeah. Bro, and as crazy as like Thunder Bay is a terrible city. I feel sorry for anyone who lives there. It fucking dog shit. But comedy there is amazing, bro.
Really?
Because of that, there's nothing going on, bro. So the whole neighborhood will come out, they'll support, they'll watch, and they're not like PC at all. Like anything goes. Yeah. You might hear some crazy shit, like there might be some racist undertones, but they're like still about it. You know what I mean? So.
We are back. This is one of my favorite segments of the pod. Pandora's box, the mystery box.
And a little disclaimer before we begin. I know that when we were having our conversation, Jesse, it's ironic, but it kind of happens. But we always the guest always tries to pose the question. We don't have any influence at all. And usually, like, the first question is something that we've already talked about. So we'll put it to the test. We'll put it to the theory. The box is right in front of you. Feel free to open it and shake it, do whatever you want, and then go from there.
Okay, bro. Oh, you guys typed it too, fam. I thought it would be like handwritten or something. Is it possible for conspiracy theories to contain elements of truth, or are they always based on misinformation? Like, comment, and subscribe.
That one too. I don't think we talked about conspiracy theory. Yeah.
No.
But you know what's so funny? We're in a time where conspiracy theories are like a rise, and like with the whole aliens thing right now. All this and that, like, I don't know.
But I was gonna say they're also coming true. Like, bro, I think like the biggest danger is that people, when you're talking about something that isn't common knowledge or outside of the box, you're immediately labeled a conspiracy theorist
or
crazy, and then there's no actual investigation behind it. Because bro, there was a point in time where mans really thought the earth was flat. Yeah, or like, you know what I mean? So like that was like back in the day. That was a legit school of thought.
It's not.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I actually got into an argument with my wife about this because I was pissing her off because I just randomly said like the earth being round is the best plausible theory that we have. She's like, it's not a theory, it's a fact. I'm like, no, but scientifically, nothing can be a fact if you can't prove it. I'm like, we haven't seen it from space. So technically, we don't know. But that's what I mean, bro. Like
that conversation that put you in the doghouse?
It did. So.
Leave that alone.
But you know those things where it's like you start something, I'm like, nah, I have to.
You knew what kind of
Yeah, exactly. I can't stop, bro.
You really gotta pick your battles.
It's a winning battle you're gonna lose.
Yeah. You gotta be like, you know what? I'm sorry.
You won the battle, but you lost the war.
Damn. Yeah, bro. But man, I think like I think it's scary to tell someone that it's complete or to write it off. Because how many mans were saying back in the day that Hollywood was evil and like mans were doing all these satanic shit. And now it's actually coming out. So it's
okay, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You know what I call The Simpsons? What happened to The Simpsons?
They predicted shit.
It always happens, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just so weird, like, when it happens.
I feel like I see the sort of conspiracy comes in. I feel like they planned it all. First, they put it on the show, then they're like, I wonder if we could pull that off.
But if you throw a bunch of darts, you're bound to hit one.
That's what I'm saying is weird.
Like, you're going to hit one. So if they're throwing out all these materials, it's hypotheticals, like, nothing that we really ever do is really original. So the stuff they do predict is kind of scary. I'll give it that.
But then you could kind of look at like what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
the history, like, all these things.
History always repeats itself.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I haven't heard some crazy ones though. I heard like the Chappelle that we have now is a clone.
Yeah, everybody's hitting their clones.
A clone. Yeah, Gucci Mane was a clone.
But you can't really, like say it's not a possibility because they actually do cloning.
Cloning is real. But they said he was a clone and that Bradley Cooper was his handler.
What? I heard, like some weird stuff. Like, I don't know, man.
That's wild.
I don't know. Handler just sounds like a crazy.
They're in the crowd watching.
Yeah. All right. I don't really have. Do you guys want to answer the question?
I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. I'm not gonna lie to you. My life is just too busy to believe something.
The oldest one is the Tupac and Biggie conspiracy. That's about it.
I feel like even if he was alive, he has to be dead now.
By now?
By now, if the man was living in Cuba, that's what the theory.
Yeah, that was the theory. That's what I heard.
I don't know. They look like they found a couple of people that look like him. So who knows?
Yo, those pictures be funny.
It's actually all racist white people. They just, every black person. Yeah, that's it. It's actually Steve Harvey. He looks older now.
Let's move on to the next question.
You want to do another
one? Take another one?
Yeah, do another one. So.
Okay, I'll take this one because it's closed. It's folded. Oh, shit, there's two. Hold on.
Yeah, there's a question I wanted to ask you. Has your body ever done a screenshot before performing?
What? What the fuck is a screenshot?
Yo. So for context, we had Marlon on the podcast, and he was like, "How?"
Oh, wait, I heard this. Okay, yeah.
So he's like, "How before he was so nervous for one performance, he's like, yo, his body kind of just like I think he threw up and he shot at the same time." Hey, yo, his co-host Duke, he's like, yo, bro, his body did a screenshot.
Fam, thankfully, bro, it hasn't happened, but that's my biggest fear. Is taking a shit on stage, bro.
Yo, bro.
That's gonna be crazy.
Like, yo, what the
Man's body did a
yo, what
screenshot.
But I feel like you go viral off of that. Too.
Yeah.
And
But
be
for
like,
the wrong reason.
Tell him to talk about it. Like, what happened?
Man.
That's crazy. Body did a screenshot. If you had to be stuck at an age for 10 years, what age would it be and why? Fuck, bro. Probably, I would say 20.
I was gonna say 25.
25?
Yeah.
25 is a good one.
Well, what's
too,
your
yeah.
reasoning for 20?
Yeah.
20 is like, I think 20 is that age where you have like the most motivation to do something, but also you are in the perfect position to actually make it happen. Like, I feel like when you're young, like 16 or whatever, like you're 16, but there's a lot of elements that are working against you, people not taking you seriously financially, right? But 20 is like you can make money, you can have an idea and actually try to capitalize on it.
I have a point against that though. So you know how in like, all right, here is not a big thing, but in the States,
Yeah,
you're not able to do things unless you're 21.
true.
And, like, and I'm pretty sure like you can't book certain places if you're like 20, because I think like Airbnbs now, like you have to be like 21, 25 now. So like you're limited a lot with a lot of things.
Oh, so you're saying like 25 will get you over that hump, and you're still in that stage.
That wasn't really my thought process necessarily. It did, like, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes more sense. But it was more so like when you're 25, you have a lot of energy. You don't look too young, but you don't look too old. And also like you're in a, I feel like I want to see you're in your prime age in your 20s.
Yeah, like health wise and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, as soon as I turned 30, my knees hurt for no reason, bro.
I heard about that. I heard about them things.
For no reason.
Start talking about magnesium and stuff. Taking your vitamins. Zinc.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just out of nowhere, bro.
Bro,
Fuck.
what?
So yeah, I would say like the 25, 21 area.
Yeah. Bro, 30 is the age where like you gotta stretch before bed. You ever do that? You ever fucking have to stretch before getting into your bed for rest?
Stretch in and out.
It's so funny because sometimes you be waking up like sore.
Yeah,
like,
you're cooked, bro.
Yeah, like it's so crazy. Not to say I'm 30, but like I had bad sleeps before, bro.
Getting there.
Yeah, getting there, bro.
Man.
What about you, Delux?
Oh man, I say my age right now, like I'm 28, so like I'm loving it right now. Like I feel like the things that I've experienced and kind of this like big built up from then to now, like from 18 to 28. Like I'm mentoring someone that's 18, and then right now I'm like 10 years older than him. I'm looking at my life. I'm like, whoa, like 10 years flew by. Yeah. And I'm looking at all the things I've accomplished. I'm very proud of myself. I'm at a point where I feel very content. And that took a long time to get to that point where I'm working, I'm building everything I'm doing. People are seeing me for the work that I'm doing, but also I'm seeing the work. Because there was a point where I didn't really see the benefit of it. I climb a mountain and people be like, yo, that's so great. And I'm like, all right, let me go to another one. Like I would move on really quickly.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm actually enjoying it. I'm sitting with it. I'm like, you know what? I love this project because I actually know what it took to get there. So I say 28.
Yeah. So in terms of like knowledge, would you say that you develop a lot of knowledge at 28 opposed to like other ages?
Oh, for sure. I feel like everything. I definitely thought I knew a lot when I was younger, and I think just like honestly, just abandoning all of that and just like being like, I believe in God and everything, and be like, you know what, I think it's gonna go the track. Yeah. So I was able to let go and let my ego go a little bit for like, you know what, like I think this is the right path. Like I met a lot of people that really changed my life and perspective wise, and it's like I don't have a plan for that.
It's crazy because you said you thought you knew a lot then, but it's like, yo, 5 or 10 years from now, you're probably gonna think, yo, bro, I didn't know anything. Yeah.
And that's the thing with stress. I always tell the young people I'm working with, like, you're stressed right now, but I kid you not, give it a couple of years. Like, don't think that you need to have it all figured out. I'm very proud that you have these high standards, but you also have to realize that you're putting so much stress on an 18-year-old. Like, you need to sit down and breathe and know that like people are in your corner, but you have to put the work in at the same time. Like, you can't expect something to grow if you never planted it.
100%.
Yeah. All right, one more question before we switch.
Yeah.
Actually, I was about to pass you the question. I'm not trying to get paged about that again.
All right. What's your take on the growing trend of digital detox and disconnecting from tech for mental clarity?
Oh,
I like that question.
That is a good question.
Yo, some people do those like Instagram breaks and like no one cares. No one cares.
I took 5 days, you guys.
No one cares.
That's so crazy. You're doing it, but you come back for the clout.
Chatting and everyone's like, hey, bro.
Yeah. Bro, honestly, I think I've been trying to practice that a bit more because, like I talked about earlier about the social media stuff, like when it comes to being a creative, like whether it be a comedian, musician, whatever it is, that's where I feel like sometimes I get disheartened because it's like when I started stand up, social media was a thing, but it wasn't what it is now. Like now it's like an entity to build your brand and who you are. Before it was just like, yo, like this is what I'm doing type shit. And now it's like you almost need it. But I feel like I've been struggling to find a balance of how do I use that to market myself while still being true to what I want to create? Because I think sometimes I've seen it happen a lot where people fall into the trap of just wanting to feed the algorithm. Yeah. And they might get clout from it. They might get a bunch of followers or views, but it actually isn't who they are, or it doesn't represent their true essence of what they do on stage or as a stand-up comedian. And I've always been cognizant of like, I don't want to become that. Like, I don't want to become this character online and now people want to see that in person because that's not who I am.
It's also draining.
100%,
man.
So it's like I think that's been tough. Is that like I've had this constant feeling of like, yo, you gotta post, and but then at the same time, it's like I don't want to post for the sake of posting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You gotta
like
be authentic. With it
I want to.
Yes, it's a business, but you still are the controller of your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you wanted to be natural, but what about you guys? How you guys feel about that question?
Man, I feel like sometimes the timeline gets too crazy. And you have to like take a step back for sure, because like I noticed like you'll start thinking about certain things. You're like, why am I thinking? Oh, I seen it. You have to take a cleanse, good detox every once in a while. 100%.
Sure. I definitely agree. Like sometimes that stuff can affect your mental, because I find that happens to me sometimes where I'm just so fixated on stuff that like I shouldn't really be fixated on, like that I'm seeing other people are doing.
And Yash.
So what?
And Yash, I know you.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know your timeline is crazy.
You think my time is just beer and Yash. Oh, I ain't dying for Yash. Yeah. What about you, Delux?
I think it's hard. I think with like the work that I'm doing and like also when you're like running your own business and stuff like that, it's like I've always been on the ball since like I started this.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah. But I think just being on the go since starting last year, it's just like I feel like you never want to be a has-been. Like maybe that's just my irrational fear, but maybe that's also something else. It's like I don't know. There's like the thing in Paid in Full. It's like, yo, if I leave the game, will they still love me? And it's like, I feel like with the work that I'm doing, I'm not doing it for the love. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Like, I love it. I feel like it's just one of those things that like help me with my day. Like, people do runs and stuff like that. I like giving shoes. I like running workshops. That's my thing. Like, it's enjoyable for me. So
yeah,
100%.
Okay. All right.
Love that bell.
Honestly, bro, this is the part that I love the most. We do talk a lot about some bullshit, but we do talk about a lot of real shit. So let's talk about it.
Definitely.
Let it out. Go ahead.
How's everybody's mental health?
There we go. Man, I'll start. Mental health is good, but like the weather, man, it feels like, one day it's decent outside. It's like, okay, it's starting to warm up. And then the next day, nope, you're done. Like, so that's how life's been up and down lately. And it's it was affecting me a couple of days ago. Because like one day I woke up, I was not ready. I was not ready for the snow. And it just coming down heavy for some reason. And pause. That sounded crazy. Coming down. Pause. Pause. But the snow, people, keep in mind that. The snow was coming out of nowhere. So it was a stressful day. But
you don't like white stuff just coming out of nowhere, do you?
Bro, pause. What are you talking about right now? What are you talking about? No, we don't.
First it came out heavy, then it came out blindsided, man.
Yo, pause. We'll leave it there. But yeah, otherwise, mental health's good. We're working, keeping the ball rolling, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
That's a good point, bro. I didn't even think about that until the sun came out. Like, and then you feel the difference. You're like, oh shit,
bro.
Bro. I would say for me, it's moving in a better direction. I think there was a period of time where it was a bit tough because I had some losses of people that were close to me.
Yeah.
And
condolences.
Thank you, brother. And then also like even youth that I worked with for like almost 10 plus years in the same week, and it was like from an overdose. One of them was you're sensitive, but they took their own life and stuff. So like,
they unalived themselves.
Yeah, unalived themselves. My bad. Yes. That's a crazy term.
I heard it one day on the internet. I'm like, okay, I guess that's a safe way of seeing it.
Yeah. But I think like I've noticed like how grief affects people differently, but also the different emotions that come with it, right? Because people think it's just sadness or, you're mourning a loss, but it's also like there's other things underlying that. There's anger that comes up, there's frustration, right? Guilt, all of these things kind of pile on. But especially when you have someone who you lose in an unexpected way, in the beginning, it's almost like hard to accept because you're like, you still don't know, right? It's like you're still grasping this like loss of this person in this life or the memories of the relationship you had with them. So I think even that taking time. But I think one thing that I'm grateful for is having like the other relationships that we have that I have around me, that we have around us, to help you work through those things so you're not isolated.
Yeah.
And it's like, fam, I've lost people in the past, but this is the first time where I've lost someone and been very involved in terms of the funeral, the planning. And like, dog, I didn't realize, like I knew they were expensive, but you don't realize, bro. And it's like the amount of gratitude I also had to know that people were able to come pitch in and like financially be able to make this happen and give someone a proper send off. Cause it's like, fam, I remember walking in and they were showing us the caskets, and there was like, I'm not exaggerating, there was literally a cardboard box that was $500. It was still $500 to bury someone in a cardboard box or cremate them.
That's crazy.
But what was crazy to me too, though, was that it wasn't just that it was a cardboard box. They still had the recycling logo. Oh my! So I'm like, fam, the least you could do. The least you could have
remove the recycling side.
Take the fucking logo off.
Shit, the disrespect.
You to turn my loved one into a plastic bottle? What are we doing here, bro?
Disrespectful.
Trust me. But yeah, man. So I think it's just been a multitude of emotions. But again, humor, I think, has always been a way to help cope with some of those feelings. So
yeah, man, laugh now, cry later.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I'm just kind of going through the motions. Like, I've been trying to like unpack a lot of just like personal stuff, trauma, all that stuff, but just on a regular day-to-day basis, things have just been good. Like, I have a lot to look forward to, and I'm just hopeful for that. That's like how my mental health is so far.
That's blessed.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I think just like working on my sleep, my life and everything, I'd say like it's in a better space. I think this was like my first return episode, so I was grateful to even share space with you.
It's happy to have you come back.
It's been a while. Real busy and stuff like that. So hopefully back to basics. Like again, like I'm gonna still always support and everything. But this is my first day back, so I feel great. This is great.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah. But let me just ask one question in regards to a mental health question.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second. Okay. So, do you feel pressured representing the South Asian community while you're doing your work?
Yeah, and I think in different ways, because
and one more question. How does it affect your mental health? Like, just dealing with that.
I think it's not so much. I guess this does tie into mental health, but I think the hard part was figuring out my identity with that stuff. Because like obviously I was born in Toronto, but growing up in Jane and Finch, you're surrounded by so many different communities, right? And I'm influenced by Caribbean culture, by African culture, by everyone, West Indian. My wife is Guyanese. So it's like being influenced by all these other cultures. It's like your music, the way you speak, your food, everything else is influenced from that as well. So it's like on top of me being South Asian, right? And me presenting myself as an Indian person. I think it's like, it's beautiful, but then sometimes you almost get typecast from your own communities. Because a lot of people talk about like, yo, you should do more Indian shows or do desi shows or this, that, and the other. But the thing is, when I do it, they actually don't like me. Because
you're not authentic.
Yeah. Because it's like,
you're not Indian enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm not Indian enough, or like I'm fucking, you know what I mean? Or I'm not talking about things that are relatable to them. But that's also because my upbringing was different, right? Like I had part of what you guys had, but it wasn't all of me.
Yeah. It wasn't a majority.
Yeah. So I think that's been hard, is trying to figure out like I guess where I fit in terms of the stories.
And I feel like that's a valuable prospect too, because I feel that way too a lot. It's like, yo, I didn't really grow up like that. And at the same time, Jane and Finch was always had a mix of cultures at the time. So people would probably like think something, but they wouldn't know something. I feel like that's where the assumptions came in. It was like, wait, what? Like, I just learned it. Like, I had a lot of people thought that with me. Is like, I don't even think they knew I was Tamil. Like, I think they either thought I was like Guyanese or Trini for that part. And it really blew people's mind. Like, they would be so confused. They'd be like, yo.
You're not one of us.
Exactly, bro. And it's what's crazy to me is that there is a huge underlying stigma, like in terms of colorism, but also racism within our own community. Like, bro, if you talk to someone from India, things have changed now, but if you talk to some of the older generation from India, they have no idea what Guyana and Trinidad is. Really? They have no idea of Indo-Caribbeans. They just think they're black. Or they think they're like somehow, some people think they're like lower caste because they were taken as slaves. That's crazy. That's what's crazy to me, is white people came and took over our land and colonized us. And you're looking at your own people being like, they're lower caste.
But see, that's the impacts of intergenerational trauma, though, because it's like a superiority. It's like, oh, they left us here because we were smart or something like that. Or like, I heard because it was a whole like indentured servitude. Like, yo, these are mans that old bread.
Bro. Because they were promised that, like, bro, Russell Peters had the same joke. He's like, you know, people talk about Guyanese and Trinis, and, you know, people in India don't have an understanding. And he's like, I tried explaining it to my mom. And he's like, yo, they're the same people. They just got on the boat. You know, we stayed. That was it, bro. Because they came, they're like, yo, we'll promise you a better life, And they got there and they're like, all right, go work the fields. That was it.
That's crazy.
But, finesse.
You guys got any more questions before I ask my last one? Because you like to do your little funky. Oh my God, he has a little running. We have a little running thing going on, bro. Anytime I'm about to close off, he asks the last question.
I have one more. I always have one more joke.
Yeah.
One more question. Hold on.
Bro, real talks. I have to. Yo, I'm in a streak right now. I got him. He's not finna do none of that shit. No more.
Yo, I'm gonna catch you one of these days.
Yeah, bro. Healthy boundaries, bro.
Yeah, like. Yo, I said don't make that joke.
Yeah, I'm still making the joke.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say.
Yeah, yo, hurry up, man.
Yo, don't rush me. Yo, you caught me off guard. See, it wasn't time for my question. That's why, Okay.
Oh, he does have one.
No, I do.
He's gonna make one right now.
All right. Think about one of your favorite movies. If you could play any role in that movie, what movie and what role would you play?
Denzel Washington from Training Day.
Yeah.
You think you could do this?
Oh my god.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Oh my god. No, that's classic role.
That's a good one. That's a good
solid one. All right.
I would have to say Ace from Paid in Full. Actually, no, he got shot. Never mind. He got shot.
He did not make it.
This guy would say Ricky from Boys in the Hood.
Nah. You gotta skip me. Come back to me still. Pause.
Oh man, I'd say Batman when he put on the mask. That outfit there, like yo, what the hell?
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh man. Oh shoot. I hate answering my own questions. Damn. What movie and what role would I play? Who?
You asked the question, had no answer prep.
Yo, I was like, I don't know. I would say Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious.
Like when he hopped in the car. Like
Yeah. The first one. Yeah.
The first one was tough. So
Yeah. I'm going Vin
I
Diesel.
still don't have an answer. You know. Honestly, I was gonna laugh at me, but I would have to say Blade still.
Blade?
Like in that
that's
first
tough,
scene?
bro.
Like,
Yeah,
The first one?
That's tough, though.
Blade.
Blade was
First
tough.
one.
Yeah.
Yo, that one scene that kills me is when he throws like I don't know what it was, like a blade around the whole like area, and then he catches it and he smiles. Yeah, I don't know why that scene just kills me.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's Wesley Snipes.
Another one I would do too. Eddie Murphy, Harlem Nights.
Oh, I love that movie. That's a really good one.
Where he shoots the lady in the pinky toe.
Yeah. But yep, that has been our episode. Appreciate having you come through. Is there anything that you want people to look out for?
Nothing in particular. Just keep an eye out on the tour. Short film out on YouTube, Tales from the Mendem. Thank y'all. And Instagram, TikTok at Punjabitimbit. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you guys. Shout out to Stay Hungry for having me out.
Passion Timbit.
Stay hungry.
Stay hungry. Maybe it gets better podcast, man. We out.
Peace.